Okay, let's get right into it. We're going to break down 7 powerful habits from the ancient Stoics. And look, this isn't a history lesson. This is about taking that timeless wisdom and using it to make 2026 your most focused and resilient year yet. Does this feel familiar? You open your phone and it's just this constant barrage of news. The economy is all over the place. It just feels like the pace of life in 2026 is accelerating beyond our control, right? It is so easy to feel overwhelmed and just reactive. Well, what if I told you there's a 2,000-year-old operating system for the human mind that's actually perfect for all this chaos? It's called Stoicism. And we're not going to treat it like some dusty old philosophy. Think of it as a practical daily toolkit for your mind. So where do we start? It all starts with how you begin your day. You know, the Stoics really believed that if you win the morning, you set the entire tone for winning the rest of the day. So let's talk about how to build a proactive morning, not a reactive one. The Roman Stoic philosopher Seneca just nailed it with this. It's not just about dragging yourself out of bed. It's about welcoming the dawn, about looking at the day ahead with real intention. And listen, this has nothing to do with modern hustle culture. This is all about mental preparation. So what does this actually look like in practice? Well, it boils down to 3 simple but incredibly powerful steps. First, get up a little earlier and just do one hard thing. Could be a cold shower, a tough workout, whatever. It builds instant momentum. Second, journal. And third, a practice called Memento Mori. Let's break those down real quick. The journaling part is so simple, but wow, is it powerful. This isn't your Dear Diary kind of thing. It's more like a strategic briefing for your day. You just grab a notebook and make 2 columns, what you can control today versus what you can't. This literally takes 5 minutes, and it grounds you. It focuses all your energy on what you can actually do something about and helps you let go of the anxiety about everything else. And that third morning habit, Memento Mori. It literally means remember you will die. Now, I know that sounds super morbid, right? But it's actually incredibly clarifying. The Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius used this thought to cut through all the trivial nonsense. It forces you to ask the important questions. Is this argument really worth my time? Am I working on what truly matters to me? It creates a sense of urgency, but without the anxiety. All right, so you've won the morning. Awesome. Now, how do these ideas help you navigate the absolute chaos of a modern workday? This is where Stoicism really becomes like mental armor against all the stress and distractions that get thrown at you. And that brings us to the absolute bedrock of Stoicism, the dichotomy of control. It is the central pillar of the whole philosophy. If you can truly, deeply internalize that some things are up to you and others are simply not, you will eliminate a massive amount of your daily frustration. I promise. And the way you practice this is so simple. Throughout your day, especially when you feel that frustration or anger bubbling up, just pause, take a breath, and ask yourself this one question. You're stuck in traffic, a colleague says something that annoys you. Ask, is this in my control? So often, the answer is no. And you know what? That realization is freedom. Let's apply this to a very, very modern problem. Doom scrolling. We've all been there. You feel this weird compulsion to just consume every single piece of bad news. But this is a perfect example of focusing on things that are way outside our control. And all it does is drain our mental energy and ramp up our anxiety. So the Stoic habit here is to protect your mind with the same care you'd protect your body. This means setting some real strict limits. You want to replace that mindless scrolling and information overload with intentional consumption. You know, Seneca advised that it's better to have fewer, more powerful thoughts. It's about turning all that noise into a clear signal. So, we've handled the morning, we've navigated the day, now it's time to close the loop. Because a day isn't truly over until you've taken just a few moments to reflect on it. This is how you make sure you're always improving. And yep, once again, Seneca gives us the blueprint. For him, this wasn't just some casual thought before bed, it was a dedicated nightly ritual. After the day was done, he would conduct a full, honest review of his actions, his judgments, and his progress. And look how simple this can be. Just 3 questions. You answer them honestly, and this is key, without judgment. This isn't about beating yourself up for your mistakes. Not at all. It's about course correction. This little process turns every single day into a lesson, which guarantees that slow, steady, and sustainable progress. Okay, so we've walked through the daily habits, the morning, the day, the evening, but there is one overarching mindset that ties all of this together, and this is really the final and most profound piece of the whole Stoic puzzle. The habits we've talked about so far are kind of the how-to, but this final idea, this is the why. It's a fundamental shift in your entire perspective that can transform your relationship with, well, everything that happens to you. It's called Amor Fati, to love your fate. Now, this does not mean being passive and just letting things happen to you. It means actively embracing reality. It's this deep belief that every single event, every setback, every challenge isn't just something to be tolerated, but something to be welcomed as a necessary part of your journey.
So how on earth do we actually apply this? It's simple. When a project fails, when a plan gets totally derailed, when you face some big obstacle, the practice is to immediately ask yourself this question. You stop fighting reality and you start looking for the hidden gift inside the problem. In a world as volatile as 2026, this mindset builds just unbreakable resilience.
And I want to leave you with this one final thought to chew on. What if you actually chose to believe this? What if that difficult client, that market crash, that personal challenge, what if it wasn't an obstacle in your way, but was, in fact, the way itself? That right there is the power of Amor Fatis.